Hi everyone, it's Stella Grizont from WUPA doing Work Happier Weekly. And this week we're going to continue walking through the theory of well-being, the positive psychology approach to explaining what does it mean to live the life worth living? What does it mean to do the work worth doing? And so today we're going to be talking about meaning. So if you're just tuning in, the theory of well-being has five pillars. The first being positive emotion, so feeling happiness, joy, gratitude, awe. So we talked about that a few segments ago. And then the next thing we talked about was engagement, that sense of flow when you're lost in the moment. And then thank you, Michael. Hey, good to see you. And then we talked about relationships last week, which coincided with Valentine's Day, which was perfection. And this week, we're going to be talking about meaning. Meaning. And by meaning, what do I mean? What I mean is our sense of belonging to something bigger than ourselves, right? It's that desire to contribute, to matter, to have a sense of significance that has ripple effects that are beyond you, right? And I know for many of my clients, they come to me aching for more meaning, feeling like their jobs are either too boring or not challenging them in the right way. And so often there's this desire to escape or go do something really grand, like give all your time to an amazing nonprofit, or there's a sensation of like not doing enough, like you have to go save the world, or maybe go sit on a mountaintop and just like ponder the meaning of life. And what I'm here to tell you is that that's not the case at all. We could just open our eyes, see from a different perspective how there's infinite opportunities throughout your day to experience more meaning. So, we know from research that, well, first, let me back up. So, if we're talking about meaning and having, experiencing a sense of significance, contributing to something bigger than yourself, all it means is that we're here to be of service. That's all it means. And there's no judgment on the degree of how much service you're contributing. Who's to judge that helping just one life in one moment matters more than something that has bigger scale? Because that one life that you touch could then touch many others. So we're not here to judge how much we're impacting, but what you can do on a daily basis is consider how might you be of service. So we know from research that doing an act of kindness is actually we're wired to want to do acts of kindness. We actually experience a buzz. There's something called a helper's high. So if you do several acts of kindness a day for several days, you might start to develop what's called the helper's high. Psychologists actually call it that because it kind of mimics the kind of high you would get on a little bit of morphine. And we know that when you do an act of service or are kind or do something charitable, the pleasure center of your brain lights up, the same pleasure center that lights up with good sex and good food. So we're wired to want to be kind and be of service. And it doesn't, again, like I said, like every day you have opportunities to do this. You can buy the stranger behind you a cup of coffee. You could donate your time to a cause you care about. You can just be present with those you love and really sit there and listen and show them that you care. You can express appreciation for an employee and really let them know how much they matter and how their work really contributes to the organization. You could do so many things, and it's available every moment. And that's kind of it. It's really that simple. So I challenge you tomorrow, consider what 3 acts of service you can commit and notice what you notice about your thoughts and about your feelings as you're, in the as you're anticipating doing them, as you do them, and after you do them. And just notice what you notice. And the more frequently you do it, the more of a hit, quote unquote, you'll get. And you'll start to notice that, wow, my my world is alive, and I'm really doing something about it. I'm really doing something meaningful, and I really matter. So anytime you start to feel down, or you start to feel like blah or in a funk, this is one of the best things you can do, because you forget yourself. So when you focus on someone else, when you focus on being of service, it's so lovely, because you can forget all about whatever's going on in your head, and you get zapped into this really lovely experience. So that said, being of service and experiencing meaning doesn't always feel good. So, for example, uh, raising children, or taking care of parents, or just being a leader. So there's lots of hard jobs where we are contributing to something much bigger than ourselves. We're doing really impactful stuff, like creating life, or easing someone's pain, or getting a group of people to corral and achieve something great. But if it doesn't feel good along the way, that's okay too, because it's hard work. So the point of having the meaning pillar in the theory of well-being is to balance the fact that, yeah, positive emotion is important, but doing something that contributes to other people is also equally important. And that might not always feel good. So just want to add that disclaimer. Michael's saying, I give workshops at a dispensary in California, and we know the helper's high. Nice. Cool. And so just to let you guys know what's coming up on my end, I just did 2 podcasts this week that will be releasing in March. One with Jordan Paris, who is like this 21-year-old entrepreneur whiz, who is all about positivity and performance, and he's quite wonderful. And then the other one with a group called the 1%, which refers to your being your best. And so those will be coming out in March. And also I did the webinar for Biz Library on, what did I talk about? How to master difficult conversations. And if you'd like access to that, make sure you're subscribed to my newsletter. Just go to whoopa.com, scroll all the way down. Just give me your email so I can include you on all these trainings that I do, that you can access many of them for free. And that's it, you guys. Any questions, any thoughts? All right. Well, you have a wonderful night. And next week, we'll be talking about achievement, which is the final 5th pillar of the theory of well being, which is about having a sense of mastery over something. So we'll talk about that. All right. Later. Bye.